Hi guys, welcome back. I can't believe it's actually been 6 months now since I bought this NIBOSI President Homage style watch. And so I thought I'd do a 6 month in review, show you how I'm getting on with the watch, how it is, what it looks like, etc. There's been a lot of interest in this watch. I mean, this was just a cheap watch which I saw on AliExpress, paid I think £12 for it. Not a lot of money, but I always fancied the look of the Rolex President, and this is, well, a very similar looking watch. Obviously nowhere near the quality, and it has a quartz movement, but it gives you at least that kind of style and look. Now I went for this one with the kind of like Tiffany blue dial on this one, which is a bit of like kind of sunburst Tiffany blue, which is it's very nice. It's very nice. Don't get me wrong. It's probably a bit too flash for me, to be quite honest with you. And I do find without putting my reading glasses on, when I look at the dial, I often have a little bit of trouble reading what the time is because the silver hands against a kind of the Tiffany blue. Sometimes it doesn't leap out on me. So with that in mind, if I could have bought this again, or if I do buy another one, I will probably buy one with a more contrasting dial, one either the dark blue or the black, where the hands stand out more, so I don't have to. I can actually read the time more clear. And unfortunately, I find that with some of my watches now, some of the watches I had years ago, which I used to be able to read, I can't read them so well without reading glasses on. So when I pick my watches now, I kind of go for the ones where I can clearly see the hands against the dial. But that probably won't be a problem for you younger guys. But as you get older, you often need reading glasses, and your near sight can deteriorate. But having said that, it's a really cool watch. I think for the money, very hard to beat. I mean, okay, it's a quartz mechanism. I don't think there's anything really high quality in there. I believe there's some kind of half decent quartz mechanism, probably a Chinese movement. But you've got the complication of the day and the actual, or sort of date and the day. And they work pretty well. You find a notch, you wind it one way, the day changes, and you wind it the other way, and the date changes. And that works well. I can't speak about its water resistance. I haven't worn this in the shower or anything like that. It may well be perfectly fine for that. I'm not going to risk it. I don't usually wear a watch in the shower. And if I'm going to go swimming, I will wear a watch which has a screw down crown, something that I know is not going to let water in. It's just not worth the risk. Now, the issue with this one, which a lot of you are finding out, and I found out exactly the same issue, is the bracelet. As nice as it is, you've got this president style bracelet, there's not enough removable links. So even after I'd removed all the links that could be removed, it was too large for my wrist. So I found a way around this. You have to get a little bit heavy handed with it. I've shown in another video how I did it. But basically you have to forcibly remove some of the links which have kind of like welded ends. You can see there's a few scratches here, and that's where I basically used pliers and grips and a tip of a knife in there, a strong knife, to lever these links apart so that I could make it the right size for myself. At the end of the day, I thought it was worth trying that because otherwise it was unusable, so there was kind of nothing to lose. And I knew if I couldn't do that, if it hadn't been possible or I mucked it up completely, you can go onto eBay or AliExpress and you can buy this is 20mm lug size president style bracelet for not a lot of money. I mean, you can spend how much you want to. There's, if you spend £15, you're going to get a very good quality one. If you're spending a £5, you're probably going to get one more like the quality of this. But they should have removable links. So it's not the end of the world, but it is going to be another purchase on top of the watch you may have to bargain for. So if you're buying this watch, you've got a small wrist, think you may spend another £5 to £15 on a replacement bracelet that you can actually size correctly. So it's a shame. Maybe the new ones, I don't know. It may well be that NIBOSI have sorted this issue out. From what I'm hearing in the comments on my other videos, people are still coming across the same issue, which is a bit strange, but perhaps enough people complaining about it, I'm sure they'll probably sort this out. So the case itself, I haven't had the back of this off. It looks like it unscrews. So a screw down back, similar to what you'd find on a Rolex with this this kind of edge here, and you need the special tool which fits, which I have got one for my I've got a 1947 Tudor Oyster, and that has a similar back plate, and I've got the right size tool, back plate remover tool, which fits into the little teeth there, and you can turn it. But I think, not 100% sure, I'm sure I saw in another video that actually this is fake. Well, I mean fake, it doesn't screw down. I think it pops off, and I haven't done this. I haven't messed around to get the back plate off. So it may well be the case that doesn't actually screw down, and that's just for looks, to make it look like a screw down back, where in fact I think it pops off, which would probably make sense considering the price point. Another reason maybe not to wear it in the shower. So where are we? It says it's 3 atmospheres, water resistant. Again, it's whether you trust it or not. That's the thing. Now, I haven't worn this watch that often, but I have worn it a few times, and it's held up well. It still looks like new, apart from those scratches, which was pretty much unavoidable when I was forcing the links apart. I did my best, but when you're using grips and pliers, you know, you're breaking the pins which are kind of welded into these end links to force them apart. Yeah, it's almost unavoidable. It's a good size watch. It's a 40mm across, not including the crown. As I said, it's got 20mm lug width. With this president style strap. It's very comfortable. It has a push button clasp. Which is nice. A lot of watches you've got to pull and they kind of clip on, where this one you just push the buttons and then it comes off this nodule. And that works well. It's just a shame it doesn't size down enough. Otherwise it would be, for the money, you would think, yeah, great. So yeah, it's a bit of a shame. That works well. For the money, that's lovely. You've got a bit of a brushed clasp there. It's kind of brushed edges with highly polished middle links. And the case is extremely highly polished and mirror-like. So I just use my blue cloth. You can see it's a very I would say quite well finished, polished case. And I don't know whether this is solid or it's hollow, but the watch does have some weight to it. It's not like ridiculously light or anything like that. And looking at other videos of people who bought this watch, most people are saying the same thing. It's really surprises them how good the watch is. For your £12, you're getting quite a nice fashion watch. I mean, let's face it, it's not a serious watch at this money. It's a bit of a fashion watch, but I quite like it. And I didn't want to spend a fortune on a day-date president watch. perhaps from Pagani or something like that for 60, 70 pounds. I wasn't quite sure if I would like the style or not, and that's one of the reasons I bought this. I just wanted to see if I like this style or not. And when I do buy my first Rolex, the cheapest Rolexes you can buy are some of these kind of day date type ones, which are similar to this style. So I wanted to see, you know, if that style is something I liked, and I do like it. Apart from, I think I shouldn't have got this Tiffany blue. It's a little bit too flash for me. Yeah, I think if I get another one, I will get either the black or the dark blue, and they do a dark green. So I'd have to make a decision. All of those, I could read the hands better. They stand out a little bit better. And so I'll just put this on to show you what it looks like. So I'll just take off the watch I'm wearing at the moment. It is a Pagani GMT. It's kind of my daily watch at the moment. Really enjoying using this watch. Although it is a bit chunky because it's got the GMT. It's a little bit of a deeper watch compared to the ones that are not GMT, because it has the NH, is it 35? NH34, I can never remember. Seiko movement in. But it does make it a little bit chunky. So it'd be nice to take that off and put on a slightly slimmer watch and a little bit lighter. Not hugely lighter, but definitely a bit lighter. Now I don't know, without getting the back of that watch off, sometimes they will put a weight in the back of the watch to make it feel heavier. So I don't know, who knows, maybe there's a piece of lead or something in the back of this. But it certainly feels quite solid. So ignore the little scratches. Yeah, and that's really stood up nicely. I've not picked up any scratches on the glass at all. I just think it's a basic kind of hardlex glass or something like that. It's not a sapphire glass. But as you can see, it fits my 6.5-inch wrist now. I've taken the links out which were fixed in there. And it's not as difficult as it sounds. It just takes a bit of brute force, and once you've got those off, you can then size it how you want. So I don't know if I'm going to buy another one, spend another £12 to get the dark. I don't wear this watch that often, but I have decided I quite like the style. I mean, you've got this fluted bezel. Again, it's almost too shiny. It would be interesting to see it with a darker dial to see if that kind of tones the watch down slightly. It's kind of like a little bit too, catches the light, as you can see. Which, if that's what you want, great. But it certainly is a noticeable watch. For 12 quid, I would say it's a bit of a bargain. It's a bit of fun. If you get a year out of it, you've done well. And it's still working perfectly after 6 months. It will be interesting to see when the battery runs out and I do have to get the back off, if that unscrews or whether it just pops off, and to see what's actually behind there. But I don't want to do that at the moment because I'm bound to scratch the back if it needs popping off, so I'll leave that job to another day. But as far as the bracelet goes, I'm going to stick with this bracelet, even though I have picked up a few scratches where I altered it, but I'm happy with it apart from that. But if I hadn't have managed to do that, I think I would have quite happily have spent another 5, 6, maybe up to £15 and got a decent bracelet for this, because it's probably worth it, because it's not a bad looking watch, even if you're going to spend a little bit more money, because then you're talking a watch which perhaps is going to be £24 with a better quality bracelet on it, and for £24 you still got a nice decent looking watch. Anyway, I hope you like this video, and it might have been some help to you if you're thinking about getting one of these. I mean, they're on AliExpress. I think perhaps you can find them on eBay, perhaps Amazon. They are out there. I think AliExpress is probably the cheapest way to buy them, but then you're going to have to wait maybe a couple of weeks, whatever. Pay a little bit of tax and things, a little bit of delivery, but it still works out pretty cheap. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. I'm trying to grow the channel. If you want to watch more watch-related videos, a lot of my videos are about vintage watches, but I do also do some more modern watches. Anything that takes my fancy, really. Take care. Bye-bye.